Good evening. In the news tonight, robbers are risking lives for small amounts of cash, and the convenience store holdups are epidemic. Is this man responsible for the arson fire that killed his ex-wife and her 2 children? It's up to a jury.
Also coming up tonight, another birthday in Lebanese captivity for Terry Anderson. And is the governor ready to fire NFTA Chairman Ray Gallagher? We'll hear his answer.
Those stories and much more coming up next on News 4 Buffalo.
They're here. The 1990 Chryslers are here at Schmidt's now. And at Schmidt's, they come complete with something you won't find anywhere else, Schmidt's Deals. Schmidt's Deals, 2 words that mean you'll save money. And speaking of saving, take a look at this. We're jammed with 89s. Most models, most colors, factory rebates, you bet. And now you'll save more. You'll pay less than ever with Schmidt's Deals. Schmidt's Deals, because there's nothing the matter with saving a buck.
Give your home originality.
During our fall dining room sale at Ridge Dining Furniture.
This is the final weekend of our S-Bent 40% off sale.
We're reducing prices by up to 40% on selected better quality dining rooms and dinettes.
Hurry! Final 2 days, Saturday and Sunday at Ridge Dining Furniture.
Give your home originality.
In Amherst
and Lackawanna.
At Ridge Dining Furniture.
The closed captioning of News 4 Buffalo has been made possible by WIVB and Tops Friendly Markets.
And now, Western New York's #1 newscast, News 4 Buffalo, with Bob Coop, Carol Jason, Van Miller's Big Board Sports, and meteorologist Ted Dexter.
Again and again, convenience store clerks become targets for a holdup man.
It's evident that if you don't comply, he will get hurt.
It's a rash of robberies. 8 stores hit within the last 2 weeks.
Good evening, everyone. It seems you can find a convenience store on almost every street corner.
And lately, it seems you can find a holdup man pulling a job just about as often. Tonight, police in Buffalo and the nearby suburbs believe they've come up with a reason for a recent outbreak of robberies at all those convenience stores. As News 4's Pam Oliver tells us now, it looks like the holdups are feeding somebody's drug habit.
From start to finish, a robbery takes about as long as it takes to brush your teeth.
Bandit comes in, armed with a knife. Clerk is alone. Displays the weapon, takes the cash and flees.
It's just that fast, but must have felt like an eternity to all the clerks robbed at knife point in a string of 8 robberies by a light-skinned black male who looks like this. Just last night, this Cumberland Farm store on Starin Avenue in Buffalo was the latest hit. Added to the list of holdups that began in Amherst October 14th, then Cheektowaga, Buffalo, Cheektowaga again, then back and forth between the two, and you've got a pattern. You've got the same robber, according to police. Authorities are looking at the possibility that 2 men working as a team are responsible for the robberies. One man robs the store while the other waits in a getaway car. Netting only $35 to $100 a hit, authorities say these men aren't getting rich, but they could be earning just enough to support a habit. Buffalo Police Lieutenant George Gaspar says the culprits here may be motivated to do these crimes to supply a drug need. So far, the robbers have only wielded a knife. He says fearful convenience store employees can take steps to possibly prevent them from using it.
Remain calm, cool, and collected. By all means, give them what they ask for. Don't fight.
Police are frustrated. They can only hope the robbers make a mistake since showing no signs of slowing down. Pam Oliver, News 4, Buffalo.
And police are emphasizing this warning tonight. If you encounter a holdup in progress, don't try to be a hero. Let the authorities know as soon as possible. Carol?
Another news tonight. Did Charles Mixon set the fire that killed his ex-wife and her 2 children?
Well, that question is before a state Supreme Court jury tonight, where Marie Rice is standing by live to bring us the latest on the story. Marie?
Bob and Carol, the jury today spent half of their time deliberating and the other half of their time listening to the court stenographer reread the testimony of key witnesses. The jury has a mountain of evidence to sift through in this month-old trial. There are more than 200 exhibits here, and it will be an emotionally grueling one. We have 3 deaths, a mother and her 2 children. 39-year-old Charles Mixon listened with the jury as the court stenographer reread the testimony of key prosecution witness Mary Duda. Mrs. Duda testified she saw the defendant drive away in his truck from the explosion and fire at the home of Mixon's ex-wife. Linda Mixon and her 2 children, 13-year-old Eric and 10-year-old Aaron, died in that fire. Mixon is accused of using a can of gasoline to start the fire.
I went to the window and moved the curtains and watched Charlie Mixon pull out.
But under cross-examination by defense attorney Thomas Burton, Mrs. Duda admitted she didn't get a clear look at the face in the truck.
I said, is it fair to say you don't know one way or another, based on the observations at that moment, whether the person had a beard, sideburns, or a mustache? And your answer was no, I don't know. Is that what you said? Answer, yes.
The jury also wanted to hear once again the testimony of the medical examiner describing Linda Mixon's injuries.
And there was second-degree burns present on her face and neck, her trunk, and both arms and both legs. The burns covered an estimated 30% of the body surface.
The jury today also wanted to hear reread the testimony of the jailhouse informant Dennis Wagner, who said on the witness stand that Mixon admitted to the killings in jail. The prosecution says the only one that has any real motive for the crime is Charles Mixon. They say he was upset and angry because his former wife would not reconcile with him. Bob and Carol?
Marie, did the insiders down there at the courthouse give you any indication how long this deliberation is going to be?
Everyone is afraid to take a guess on that, Bob, but they believe it will be a lengthy one.
All right, Marie Rice at State Supreme Court. Thanks very much. Carol?
Former State Motor Vehicles Inspector James Shanahan of Arcade was indicted by a grand jury today for using his public job for private profit. Shanahan was accused of being involved in illegal car sales with used car dealers he was supposed to inspect. News 4 investigative reporter Lee Capola broke the story of the scam last December.
Well, it was only weeks ago that Buffalo-based Empire of America Bank announced that shares of its common stock had lost all of their value. And tonight, the bottom line shows why the bank is struggling. Empire of America lost more than $158 million during the third quarter alone this year. That's a record for red ink at Empire. The third quarter loss is more than all the losses of 1988 and the first half of this year combined. However, the bank wants to remind all of its depositors that their money is insured by the United States government up to $100,000. Carol?
The job of NFTA Chairman Ray Gallagher is apparently safe for the moment. News 4's Rick Pfeiffer reports that Governor Cuomo is giving the embattled NFTA chief time to prove the charges of illegal political fundraising by him are false.
The governor flew into Niagara Falls this afternoon to talk about education with members of the New York State School Board Association. But the questions that dogged the governor were his plans for NFTA boss Raymond Gallagher. Both federal and state agencies have called for Gallagher's removal because they say he forced Transportation Authority employees to make contributions to Democratic political campaigns.
I'm not giving up the right to any power. I'll make my decisions when I have to make them. But I can afford to be fair, and I think the people of this area would want me to be.
But the governor did admit the charges against Gallagher and top aides Robert Rung and Ken Crewley bother him.
Of course you must be concerned. We have to see to it that everybody operates at the highest ethical standards.
Cuomo said he'd take no action to remove Republican Elections Commissioner Philip Smolinski. The governor called revelations that GOP officials used election board employees to do personal work a local problem. And the governor didn't seem to want to talk about politics either, though his mind seemed to be on presidential thoughts.
How could you possibly say that they would need you as president in 1992? Unless you've got some fixation, some egocentric desire to hoist yourself to the top for whatever reason. And I don't suffer from that problem.
Actually, Governor, I was talking about another run for governor.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
Same answer.
Of course, the governor will have to decide by next year if he wants to run for another term in the State House. Rick Pfeiffer, News 4, Niagara Falls.
A new $180 million recycling plant will bring close to 200 jobs to Chautauqua County. On a 60-acre site in northern Chautauqua, crews will soon begin building a facility to recycle cardboard for industrial use. 182 full-time jobs will be created by that plant, and the plant's being financed by state loans and a bond issue. Carol?
Still ahead on News 4, Ted's forecast has a lot of promise for the weekend.
And in big board sports, we're going to preview a big weekend of football.
Also ahead, Poland on the threshold of freedom.
And hostage Terry Anderson observes another birthday without freedom. That story's next.
Three trapped whales a few days ago.
Will the owner of a Black Eagle Talon with all-wheel drive and 16-valve turbo identify himself?
You bet he will.
And how will the dealer who sells the 16-valve all-wheel drive Eagle Talon identify himself?
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer, where you can expect the best.
It's McRib time at McDonald's, y'all. Grilled pork and that sassy sauce. It's like a barbecue in a bun without the bones. Add fries and a Coke and you're talking chonk, but only for a limited time. A good time, great taste. Chonk of McDonald's.
McRib, a special sandwich only at McDonald's. Only $1.79 plus tax. Only for a limited time. Only terrific.
Got a dirty car to clean? You need Simple Green. Tough grease and dirt are a snap with Simple Green. Just spray it on and wash it off. Simple Green's concentrated formula safely cleans everything in your car. Tires, wheels, tools, carpets, upholstery, windows. Quick and easy. Non-toxic, biodegradable, Simple Green. The only cleaner you'll ever need.
Available at Sears Automotive Centers.
So, you want to be a blockbuster video, huh? Gee, doesn't everyone? Well, then jump into that VCR and show me what you've got.
Fletch is back. He's inherited a mansion and a murder. Now he's out to clear his name.
I feel like making a statement. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Fletch Lives. Available on video cassette from MCA Home Video.
You're great. Welcome to Blockbuster Video. Who's next?
Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a difference.
American hostage Terry Anderson marked his 42nd birthday today, still a prisoner in Lebanon, and many people are offering hope and prayer. But so far, no one has been able to give him the only birthday gift that means anything, his freedom. In Anderson's hometown of Batavia, the church bells were ringing, and some yellow ribbons still adorn some fading bouquets. Tonight, the city will unveil this sculpture, which depicts the face of a long-held captive Anderson, his hands bound in chains. The sculpture was done by Lackawanna artist Louis Drugos. The work will be officially presented tonight at the Genesee Country Mall in Batavia. It will remain there until the day comes when Anderson's Middle East captors finally grant his freedom. Then the sculptor wants to remove the chains and give the unfettered statue to Anderson. Anderson's 42nd birthday is also National Hostage Awareness Day. And at Georgetown University in Washington, journalists joined with Anderson's family in a mass of hope for all those who remain hostage to Middle East politics.
Someday soon, our miracle will happen. Until then, we'll live as we always have, in faith and in hope. Terry, if you see this, keep the faith. Don't you ever, ever give up hope.
Terry Anderson has been held in the Middle East longer than any other American hostage. He was abducted after a game of tennis in Beirut on March 16, 1985. Since then, America has been tormented by videotaped pleadings from the AP correspondent issued by his captors. Today, in Beirut, TV broadcasts showed another videotape. This one carried birthday greetings from a 4-year-old daughter he has never even met.
A programming reminder now, tonight at 8 o'clock, right here on Channel 4, we're going to broadcast a 1-hour special report on Poland and the astounding changes which have taken place there in just the past summer. So many changes have taken place since we first visited Poland last July that we wanted to show them to you tonight. We'll meet the new Prime Minister of Poland, Tadeusz Mazowiecki. We'll explore the power of the Catholic Church as it grapples with its own abortion crisis. And we'll show you how Poles are enduring a terrible economic crisis of their own.
For 4 days and 4 nights, people have been standing outside this shop just to get a piece of meat, she says.
So we hope you'll be watching tonight at 8 o'clock on Channel 4 as we bring you Poland on the Threshold Revisited. Again, that's tonight at 8, right here on Channel 4. Carol?
We have a wonderful weekend ahead of us. Ted has our forecast.
Yes, it's not going to change from the way it's been. Stay tuned.
If the cupboard is bare, fill it with cookware during AM&A's Buy One, Get One Free sale. For every selected piece of Revere you buy, choose another piece free. Or fill your cupboard with selected Farberware. Buy one, get one free. Or choose selected Regal, selected Crown Corning, or selected Corning. Or mix and match them all. For every piece you buy, choose another piece of equal or lesser value free from any of these 5 famous names. Great cookware. Great deal. From AM&A's, of course.
We're still trying to make Heinz home-style gravy just like homemade.
He says, nice try.
We make it with real beef and beef juices just like yours.
He feels that while the taste and overall quality are good, there's still work to be done.
Then we season and simmer and stir it till it's just like homemade.
He says it's close.
Heinz home-style gravy, so close to homemade.
On Entertainment Tonight at 7, Jacqueline Smith, What's Her Line? And on Inside Edition at 7:30, a new twist in Scams Against Superstars, coming up on Channel 4.
When you taste Progresso, you know it. There's no soup quite like it. Progresso has that sunny Italian flavor, a special goodness all its own.
There's no soup like Progresso.
Buffalo, the biggest sale ever starts tomorrow at Dinettes & More. For 3 days only, save up to 70% on canceled orders, discontinued styles, and overstocked merchandise. All must go. This is a one-time event and our biggest ever warehouse sale. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday only, and only at our Niagara Falls Boulevard store. If you need dining furniture this year, don't miss this sale. Some items are even below wholesale. Dinettes & More, Niagara Falls Boulevard store only, across from the Boulevard Mall.
During Hyundai's Full House Clearance, your dealer has a little number you'll never see again. 5224. A well-equipped Excel for just $52.24 after factory rebate. With variable intermittent wipers, rear defroster, room for 5, 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty, more standard features than any car in its class. It's the most affordable, best value in America. And we've got loads of them. So take a number. Rush to your nearest Hyundai dealer and pick up your little number before they're gone for good.
Well, get the tanning oil out. I have a feeling it's going to be a warm weekend.
I think they're going to reopen the pool at my apartment complex.
That sounds good.
Just about need to this weekend. It's going to be in the 70s, sunshine. Sounds more like summer than fall around here. And that's Tower Cam, by the way. 65 degrees outside right now, 18 Celsius. Barometer is rising. Humidity at 53%. Man, oh man, have we got a weekend ahead. West-southwest breezes at 7 miles an hour. Look for some fog tonight. There was this morning. High of 71, low of 46. All of those numbers all boil down to plan something outside for the weekend. We take a look to start things off at the satellite loop. Back to the west, we've got some weather coming our way, but it shouldn't get here until next week, in fact. All of the northeastern United States experiencing plenty of sunshine and real nice weather conditions. A mild south to southwest breeze will keep us in the pink throughout the weekend, and you'll get kind of pink out there if you don't use your suntan lotion. The storm in the west now is making some progress across the Plains states, producing some rain there. It has already dumped some snow back in the Rockies. It doesn't look as if it's going to cause too much trouble for us. U.S. radar is showing up some returns back to the west, parts of Missouri and Idaho, or Iowa rather. For us, the storm is approaching, but again, it looks like it's going to get here late in Monday or into Tuesday, so in the meantime, we'll just be in the 60s and 70s with lots of sunshine around. Throughout the day tomorrow, the high pressure that's been keeping us in good shape is finally starting to move off of the coast. In a way, that's good because we do need to break things up a little bit and get some fresh air blowing on into western New York. Still a south flow, plenty of sunshine, and the storm approaching from the west, producing quite a bit of snow, as a matter of fact, across the Rockies on up into Canada throughout the day tomorrow. And 60s up to 70 degrees again for us. A lot of warm air bunching up now down in the southeastern United States. There is some cooler, drier stuff back to the west that's going to get here and probably bring us back into wintertime by the end of next week. But until then, we... forecast with an overnight low tonight of 44 to 49 degrees, a little bit of fog. Tomorrow, sunshine, lots of it, 70 to 73, and a little bit of light haze, but no big deal. Tomorrow night, clear again, 45 to 49, a low. And the 4 days ahead, this will include Sunday, which, by the way, if you've got tickets to the game, you better take the umbrella just to keep the sun out of your eyes.
Oh.
Right? Don't get... It's okay. It's okay. Tuesday and Wednesday, maybe some showers then with the front coming in, but still fairly mild.
Sure, and don't forget to put the clocks back, too, right?
Clocks back Sunday night into... Sunday morning. Right.
Thanks, Bob.
You bet.
I think I got that.
Yeah.
Here's Glenn with sports.
Big weekend for high school football. Brian will have a report on one of the big rivalry games.
Old Man Winter is already battering many parts of the United States, so the time to get to Burlington Coat Factory is now for the first choice of the largest selection of winter coats and jackets in the country. What every member of your family needs to keep warm, no matter how cold it gets. And because Burlington is famous for low prices, you can get your new winter coat at the lowest price imaginable. That should make you feel warm all over. Burlington Coat Factory, America's #1 place to save on the coat you want.
My 3 sisters and I were always borrowing each other's clothes. And even though our lifestyles are different now, we still shop at one store for fashion, AM&A's. The prices and selection are great. Take Susan. She likes versatile coordinates. Lynn prefers smart tailored dresses. Designer fashions are Diane's favorite. And me, I live in classic separates. The years have passed, but for our family, one thing hasn't changed. AM&A's, you're our kind of store.
The Weather Watch 4 weather line gives you the forecast from Buffalo's only station with 3 certified meteorologists, Ted Texter, Mike Syka, and Chuck Gurney. Call 844-4444. You can count on Weather Watch 4.
Give your home originality.
During our fall dining room sale at Ridge Dining Furniture.
This is the final weekend of our S-Bent 40% off sale.
We're reducing prices by up to 40% on selected better quality dining rooms and dinettes.
Hurry! Final 2 days, Saturday and Sunday at Ridge Dining Furniture.
Give your home originality.
In Amherst
and Lackawanna.
At Ridge Dining Furniture.
In western New York and northern Pennsylvania, Ford Ranger is the #1 selling compact pickup. So why are we offering $1,000 cash back on all 1990 Rangers, plus almost $1,500 savings on this preferred equipment package? Because that's the kind of value that makes Ranger what it is.
A deal like this is only available at your local Ford dealer and only for a limited time.
Freedent's the one. If you've got dental work, you've got 3 great reasons to chew Freedent gum. You know Freedent won't stick to your dental work, and Freedent freshens your breath. But maybe you didn't know that Freedent moistens your mouth. So if you hate a dry mouth like I do, chew Freedent.
Freedent's the one that took the stick out of gum, and Freedent moistens your mouth. Yeah, moistens your mouth, and freshens your breath while you chew.
Non-stick Freedent moistens your mouth and freshens your breath.
Sports brought to you by Midway Airlines. 400 flights a day to over 50 cities.
You know, with the hockey season going 400 days out of the year, it's hard to imagine that we're halfway through the football season already.
Hey, after this week, we are halfway there, 8 games in. On Sunday, the season will hit the halfway point, and it is another big game out at Rich Stadium. Going back to the '87 season, the Bills have a 5-game win streak going against the South Florida Fish, who trail the Bills by just 1 game in the AFC East. And remember the last game, the squeaker down at Joe Robbie Stadium when Jim Kelly bulled his way across the goal line to pull out a last-second victory? Hey, the Bills realize that alone is enough to put the Dolphins in a nasty mood come Sunday.
It sort of sticks to your gut because, you know, here's a game that you thought you had won. And as it turns out, you find it in the other column. So, you know, that naturally sticks with the team.
But even besides that, we got a couple straight wins against them, 3 or 4. And I know Don Shula's awful upset about it, and they've had the same team for the last 2 years. So I'm sure overall, yeah, they're going to be pumped up and ready to play. I'm just glad, you know, we had them here at home.
So Don Shula and the Finns want revenge, and the Bills want to sack Dan Marino. The Bills are favored on Sunday by 4. Make it a field goal. Kelly won't be around, but Reich will do just enough to pull it out. And by the way, defensive back John Hagee has finally been activated. He will play on Sunday. Coming off a loss on the road in Minnesota, the Sabres are back on home ice tonight playing the Toronto Maple Leafs, who they easily handled in a 7-1 win back on October 11th. but don't expect it to be so easy this time around. At least that is what the Sabres' Rick Vive said at this morning's workout.
Played a pretty good hockey game that night. We caught them on their home opener, too. They might have been a little nervous, you know, whatever, but we played an excellent hockey game. It was a near-perfect game for us, and that's why it seemed so easy. I think they're playing much better hockey right now than they were then, and it's going to be a lot different hockey game tonight.
Should be a lot different. They'll face it off at 7:35. A little Bisons news. Terry Collins will be back as the Bisons manager in 1990. That announcement comes from the Pittsburgh Pirates, who also say that Jackie Brown will return as the pitching coach, and Steve Henderson, the old veteran, will come back as the batting coach. Brett Butler of the San Francisco Giants said last week that nobody will remember who won the '89 World Series. They will remember who survived it. A week ago, the World Series was not a top priority in the Bay Area after that big earthquake, but after 11 days off, it is again time to play ball. And the pitchers tonight will be Dave Stewart on the mound for the Oakland A's. He won 21 games this year. Scott Goreltz will be on the mound for the Giants. That is the winners and the losers from the first game way back when. Big rivalry games spotlight the high school football schedule this weekend, concluding with Saturday night's Monsignor Martin battle between St. Francis and St. Joe's Collegiate. And here's Brian with a preview of that big game.
Near right, 91, on one, ready!
An already great high school football season in Western New York should get even better when St. Francis hosts St. Joe's tomorrow night. For the Red Raiders, this has been a stellar year. They posted a 6-1 mark, ranked 3rd currently, but it won't be complete without a win over Joe.
This past summer, John Schmidt and I, my offensive coordinator, sat down and discussed what we can do, what we would like to do, and to borrow something from Marv Levy there, he says you got to run the ball and stop the run. So we tried to get the ball, have the kids run the ball. We've been doing that, and that's opened up a little bit for Jimmy.
Dave Brooks, Dave Hack, they really push the guys off and just let me cut off them, and it makes it a lot easier that way.
You've been seeing a lot of daylight this year?
Somewhat. I've been seeing a little more than I was used to. It's really nice to have.
What's been the key for your offense so far this year?
Balance in the offensive line. Played real well. Control line of scrimmage will be the key to the game.
Last week, St. Joe's rallied with 2 fourth-quarter scores to beat arch rival Canisius, and their sights now are firmly set on St. Francis.
Each year it's been us and timing, you know, but now St. Francis coming into it and makes it a more interesting, you know, scenario.
St. Francis team, when these kids were freshmen and sophomore in 2 seasons, they only lost 1 game. Last year they were all juniors and they had a little down season, but this year they're all playing together again, and they've only lost 1 this year. I hope it's 2 tomorrow night.
Last week, St. Francis held Timon to minus 12 yards rushing in the second half. Joe's offense knows they'll be put to the test tomorrow night.
They got some big linemen, though, so it's going to be tough to get running against those guys 260 and 270 up front. But I'm sure my line's going to take care of it.
A game worth seeing. 7:30 tomorrow night. St. Joe's at St. Francis. Brian Blessing, News 4 Sports.
And here's the lineup of highlights we'll have tonight on Update. Lancaster and Depew. That is always a big game. Tonawanda at North Tonawanda. Down in the southern tier, Ron Ward will be shooting the Dunkirk-Fredonia game. And be sure to watch running back Mario Reeves from Turner Carroll as his team takes on Canisius.
Okay.
4 barn burners.
Real good. All right, Glenn, thank you. Coming up in just a moment, the latest fashions for Halloween from some people who should know. That's next.
Midway's family plan gets your whole family into the Florida mood for 10% off even our best fares. It's a deal you won't get anywhere else. So pick a Florida city and pick Midway to get you there.
Midway puts you up there. It's what flying should do.
For the next 3 days, Nationwide Warehouse is opening its doors to the public. 3-piece living room suites, $248, your choice. Or choose from these styles at $298, your choice. Many other groups from only $222. Sofa, love seat, chair, complete. Famous name bedroom suites, Armstrong, Hart, and International from only $146. Save hundreds. Brand new mattress sets from only $48 complete. Sale lasts 3 days only, so act now, buy now, save now at Nationwide Warehouse, 2515 Walton Avenue east of I-90 in Cheektowaga. Also in Toronto. Phone 681-6757. Nationwide Warehouse. Nationwide Warehouse.
Coming up tonight on CBS and Channel 4.
In one unbelievable weekend, Max Pies must sell over 1,000 rolls of better quality carpet. Our inventory is too high. We're going to make it impossible for you not to buy now. Drastic, across-the-board price cuts. No additional charge for pad and labor. 6 months to pay interest-free. Tomorrow at Max Pies. Broadloom, remnants, area rugs, pad and labor all drastically reduced with 6 months to pay interest-free tomorrow at Max Pies.
Max Pies.
My father always used to tell me, Bobby, I want you to have all the advantages I never had. And I want you to do all the things I never did. The problem was, one of the things he never did was to take care of his high blood pressure. That's why I'm taking care of mine. Maybe that's why I'm around to enjoy my beautiful grandson.
Do what your doctor says. Treat your high blood pressure and live to do the things they never did.
At Halloween, you can't just put on the same old face. For last year's Fright Time favorite can be this year's mere ghost of a chance. Doug Smith dropped by Buffalo's Build Academy today to find out what's in and what's out among trick-or-treaters.
Pickle, pickle! Every Halloween seems to scare up a new kind of hero. Any sort of job description will do.
What does Batman do?
Fight robbers.
What does Freddy do?
He kills people.
What does Photon do?
Fight.
Do you fight?
Yeah.
Who do you fight with?
My friends.
What is it? Freddy Krueger, witches, devils, clowns, and unusually some very pretty ballerinas and fairy princesses. They're still in.
But Indiana Jones is out.
Do you want to be Indiana Jones?
No.
Why not?
He's corny.
Yuck. But now let's let Melissa here tell us about goodness, evil, and the power of witchcraft.
What mean things would you do if you were a witch?
I don't know.
You don't know?
If I was a mean witch, I would change myself and be a good witch.
Halloween fads come and fads go, but one thing that never goes out of style is a nice post-Halloween nap. At the Build Academy, Doug Smith, News 4, Buffalo.
How did they ever get her to take a nap like that? I've been...
With Doug right next to her? Yeah, exactly. My mother always said she'd rent me out to haunt a house, so Halloween we made a lot of money. Coming up at 11 o'clock tonight on News 4 Buffalo, we'll have a complete roundup of all those high school football games Glenn was telling you about, and of course any developments in the trial of Charles Mixon, the Hamburg man charged in the arson murder of his wife and her 2 children. That's all coming up tonight at 11 o'clock on News 4 Buffalo Update.
You are frightfully nice.
Yes, thank you.
Enjoy your weekend, everybody.